Everyone wants the same thing when planning a trip, a flight that doesn't empty the wallet before the vacation even begins. But beneath every so-called deal lies a hidden battle, an invisible war fought by algorithms, travel data brokers, and price-scraping engines working around the clock to outsmart each other. And at the center of this massive digital tug-of-war stand two giants, Skyscanner and Google Flights. One is the gritty deep diver roaming every corner of the internet, pulling fares from places most travelers didn't even know existed. The other is the smooth, polished, near-instant system built on data precision and real-time accuracy. Both claim to find the best prices. Both promise to save travelers time, stress, and money. But behind the scenes, their philosophies are so different that calling them competitors almost understates how sharply their worlds diverge. And when the dust settles, the real cheap flight king isn't the one most people expect. It all begins with a deceptively simple question: where do the cheapest flights actually hide? Most travelers assume all flight search sites are tapping into the same databases and pulling the same fares. But nothing could be further from the truth. Skyscanner and Google Flights might look similar on the surface you type in a destination. Select dates, watch prices, load, but underneath, they function like two completely different species. Skyscanner operates like an explorer. It spreads a massive net across the internet, scanning over 1,000 airlines, regional carriers, small online travel agencies, and low-visibility booking platforms. That sheer breadth is its superpower. In fact, by mid-2025, analysts estimated Skyscanner's search range to be roughly 4 times larger than Google Flights' airline coverage. And that matters because the cheapest flights often don't come from major airlines. They come from small regional operators, budget carriers, airport-specific deals, and niche booking platforms that don't have partnerships with everyone. Skyscanner digs into all of that. It's the digital equivalent of a bargain hunter crawling through discount bins at 3 a.m., sometimes walking out with an unbelievable deal. Google Flights, however, takes a different path. Instead of going wide, it goes clean. It focuses on major airlines, trusted booking partners, and high-quality data sources that prioritize accuracy over sheer volume. Google doesn't chase every fare, it chases reliable fares fast, and the result is speed. Tests in 2025 showed that while both platforms scored high in usability, Google consistently delivered results faster, often completing searches and passing bookings along within seconds. Its interface loads instantly. Its price graphs are smooth. Its calendar grid updates in real time. It's built not just to find flights, but to eliminate confusion. And yet, this difference creates the first twist. Skyscanner tends to show cheaper fares, especially on international routes that involve lesser-known carriers, unusual layovers, or airports off the mainstream radar. Skyscanner often uncovers prices Google doesn't touch. But here's where the story takes a sharp turn, because cheap doesn't always mean real. Every traveler has felt the sting of a ghost fare. You click a $199 round trip to Paris, only to watch it jump to $329 the moment the checkout screen loads. It's not a glitch. It's what happens when a platform pulls in outdated fares or prices from low-quality sources. And because Skyscanner connects to more small, high-risk OTAs, it naturally encounters this problem more often. That very strength, the giant net also exposes users to more unreliable fares. Many of the lowest prices vanish when clicked, get replaced with higher totals at checkout, or come with conditions buried deep in the fine print. This is where Google Flights quietly wins major points. Its smaller, cleaner data pool means fewer ghost fares, fewer vanished deals, and fewer last-minute surprises. Its partnerships lean heavily toward official airline feeds and established booking systems. When Google shows a price, there's a much higher chance it's exactly what you'll pay. And that reliability becomes critical when travelers are dealing with tight schedules, fixed hotel bookings, or families who can't risk sudden price shocks. Google also excels in transparency surfacing baggage rules, basic economy restrictions, flight delay patterns, and fare trend insights before the traveler even commits to a booking. Skyscanner often pushes these details to the external booking site, meaning a traveler only sees them after clicking through. This brings us to the heart of the showdown. Skyscanner wins the cheapest fare war, Google Flights wins the reliability war. But the ultimate question is more complicated. Which one actually makes traveling easier? Imagine two travelers. The first has fixed dates, hotel reservations, limited flexibility, and a strict schedule. They need certainty. They need to know the fare won't jump. They need to know the airline will honor the ticket. For this traveler, Google Flights becomes the obvious choice. Its date grid shows whether the price they see is typical, high, or low for their route. Its historical data shows the best booking windows approximately 49 days before departure for international trips and around 39 days for domestic journeys. It gently guides travelers toward the sweet spot without overwhelming them. And most importantly, it usually sends them directly to the airline's website to complete the purchase exactly where travelers have the most rights if something goes wrong. Now picture the second traveler. They're spontaneous, flexible dates, open to odd layovers, unfamiliar airlines, and last-minute adventures. They don't care if the flight leaves at 3 a.m. or connects through 3 cities. All they want is the thrill of finding a price that feels like cheating the system. Skyscanner was practically built for this traveler. Its everywhere search doesn't just find cheap flights, it reveals entire travel opportunities. Type your home city, pick everywhere, and watch as the world arranges itself by lowest fare. It feels like discovering a portal into budget travel that Google doesn't offer. Many travelers have found once-in-a-lifetime surprises this way: flights to underrated cities, spontaneous getaways, or unexpectedly affordable international destinations. And that's when the real truth emerges. The smartest travelers don't choose Skyscanner or Google Flights. They use both like a two-step strategy. First, use Google Flights to set your baseline. What's an average price for your route? What dates are cheapest? And what trends look like? Then use Skyscanner to challenge that baseline. If Skyscanner finds a dramatically cheaper fare from a trusted source, you've won. If the fare comes from a questionable OTA, you know the risk and can walk away. Because here's the often ignored twist. The cheapest ticket can become extremely expensive the moment something goes wrong. When travelers buy through low-tier OTAs and their flight gets delayed or canceled, many airlines refuse to handle rebookings directly. They send customers back to the OTA, and that's when the real nightmare begins. Hours on hold, additional fees, no accountability. That's why consumer advocates consistently highlight the importance of booking directly through the airline whenever possible. And in this arena, Google Flights quietly dominates because it almost always leads travelers to the airline's official site, while Skyscanner often routes through third-party sellers. Meanwhile, both platforms continue evolving. Google has leaned hard into AI-powered travel tools, predictive price alerts, real-time trend indicators, and global explore maps that adjust dynamically based on seasonality, budget, and travel demand. Skyscanner is improving too, adding faster results and more filtering features, but it still slightly lags in real-time transparency. In multiple speed comparisons through 2025, Google still loaded results, fare calendars, and booking flows noticeably faster. So who wins the crown? It depends on the meaning of king. For the absolute cheapest fare, Skyscanner takes the title. For reliability, speed, stability, and fewer booking surprises, Google Flights stands at the top. But for true travel mastery, the kind where you save money and avoid chaos, the crown ultimately belongs to the traveler who understands both platforms and uses them strategically. In the end, the real cheap flight king isn't Skyscanner or Google Flights. It's the traveler who knows that tools don't determine the savings strategy does. And once you master that strategy, suddenly the entire world becomes more affordable, more accessible, and far more exciting. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more deep dive travel exposes and smart money guides.